So today, can you see my screen now? Because I don't see the sharing.
Yes, yes.
Yes, you do. Okay, great. Sorry. So today we're going to discuss, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about this Open Research Europe, which is the new publishing platform, which was one of the biggest step the European Commission made towards open science. So let me just briefly introduce the topic today. As Eduarda was telling you, I have a background in innovative technology. I was a PhD student in the field, and I worked for 10 years at Scuola Superiore Sant'Anna as a researcher. So this is how I imagined my life as a researcher, full of new inventions, especially in the technology field, new search, new findings. I was very excited. And then I soon realized that the reality was quite different. And the question is, as a researcher, what do I need to do to advance my career? And those of you that are researchers probably already know that we are forced to publish in high impact journals in order to advance in our career. And we need not only that, but we need to be cited. And this is the famous publish or perish joke, but indeed it is our work. We are forced to write papers, to publish in high impact journals. So this is what we basically do. But think for a moment, is the way we currently use to evaluate research and assess research career based on the scientific method? This is something that we all should start thinking a little bit on. And also when it comes to traditional scientific publishing and scientific journals, we may have many open questions. For example, how about scientific discussion? Where and when does this happen? Is it only related to the review process? And is it open? Can everyone access my research and the discussion behind it? How about the reproducibility of my work? If it is published in a scientific journal? And how about transparency of, for example, the process that I made to publish my research? There is another issue in that, because with this method of evaluating research, we are indeed missing a lot. We are missing, for example, negative results that are not published in traditional journals. We are missing data, algorithm, methodologies, everything that may help us in being more transparent and reproduce the research that we do. But we are also missing a lot of the work of the researcher that is not only writing papers. We are missing, for example, the peer review process, educational resources. We are missing project proposals, the skills like leadership skills, product development. We're not taking all of this into account in the evaluation, and we are not rewarding it properly. So, can open science be the change we need? You probably already are aware what open science means. It means to open each step of the research life cycle, and it means to work on based on specific principles like transparency, reproducibility, accessibility, reuse, and the European Commission and many other funders, international funders, made a clear choice towards open science in the recent year. So what did the European Commission do in this field? Well, there is plenty of initiatives that the European Commission took. spanning from the Open Science Policy Platform, lots of expert groups that released a lot of documents, recommendations, the European Open Science Cloud, and the European Commission also signed Plan S. You probably are aware of that. And since FP7, so we're talking about since 2007, the European Commission has a strong mandate on open access for its beneficiaries, for the funding beneficiaries. And this means for them to open up, release in open access all the peer review publications, and also to enter the open research data pilot. So they are requested to have a fair data management plan, deposit the research data, and open them as open as possible and as closed as necessary. So this is what we already know and what has already happened. But what else was missing? It was missing what it is now called the Open Research Europe, which is an open access publishing platform, which is offering a publication and open peer review process for the research that is conducted by the H2020 and Next Horizon Europe beneficiaries. It is a lot of work, started last year when F1000 was given a contract from the European Commission after a tender to realize this platform. Why does the European Commission, why did the European Commission want that? Because the EC realized that there was a strong need for high quality, reliable and efficient publishing within the EU research. Of course, after Plan S, there was a big movement, you know, with the transformative agreements, and researchers started to feel a little bit trapped, also because from one hand, they were funded by the EC that requested open access, and then if their own institution wasn't signing any transformative agreement, they were requested to pay a lot of money to publish in traditional scientific journals, which is indeed needed for our career. So what happened was that the EC decided to build a publishing platform by its own. There is the willing to have a high scientific standard and the swift and a transparent process in all the steps of the publishing. There is already in place an expert scientific advisory board that covers all the fields in science. It will be no cost for authors and of course beneficiaries. We are talking about beneficiaries, so there is no, it's not an APC based platform for authors. All the costs are covered indeed by the European Commission itself, and it will be the place, it is the place where beneficiaries can publish post grants results of their work. If you have worked in a project funded by the European Commission, you may know that this is a problem. When you publish your research and your article after your project ends, the costs for publication APC are not eligible anymore. So this will be the place where you can publish your research after your project. It will be fully compatible with the open access obligations of the European Commission, of course. So you will be respecting your mandate, the mandate of your funder. So there is, of course, a list of ambitions that the European Commission has. Of course, it wants to lead by example in this field. So the platform is built to have to fully embrace the open science principle. We have open peer review. We have early sharing of research, new generation indicators. It wants to be transparent and cost effectiveness. So the format and the way the business plan of the platform is shared. So we already know, for example, that the Commission will pay 780 euros for each article that will be published in the platform. As I said, the beneficiary will not have to cover the cost with their own money, but the Commission will pay. And the fact is that the Commission wanting to explore sustainable open access publishing business models that are, of course, a little bit far away from what we have known up to now. So maybe some other funders in the future can follow the same path. The platform is a publishing service. So if you want to submit an article, of course, you can submit what we call today a preprint, and this will undergo a peer review process. Article must be original. And stem from Horizon 2020 funded research. Later, of course, starting from this year, Horizon Europe. But this is the must that you have to access this service. The open access will be immediate, and the content will be licensed for reuse. So reproducibility will be allowed from this platform. The process of peer review will be completely open and transparent. We will see that in a moment. And then it will have a lot of technological feature like text and data mining will be available for all the contents. They will have a connection to the repositories, also institutional repositories in the future. But for the moment, we will start with Zenodo. PIDs, of course, open and data software, following the mandate of the European Commission, and so on. So a lot of new feature for a publishing platform. There will be new generation metrics calculated on each article. So we are talking about the article and not about the platform. There will be all the process and the policies of the journals of the platform are already available and transparent. So you can go on the website and check all the various policies, and it is of course aligned with the EC policies and principle. It follows a bit the example of other funders. So for example, the Wellcome Trust Open Research and also others. So as I said, the business model and the money that the European Commission spent on this project are transparent. So these are some number. We are talking about a 5.8 million euro contract that was signed last year and lasted for 4 years. A lot of initiatives in the open science environment are involved, like Liber, Eurodoc, and also OpenAir. There are quite a bit of tasks to be performed. We are in the process too. So for the moment, we do have the technical infrastructure, business process and sustainability and communication, but we are working hard to also update the platform and give it some few technical details more. So let's go and check how it works. The publishing model is quite simple. You first have to submit your paper. This is done by a traditional submission system, so it's all electronic, and you have to fill in a bit of metadata for your article. What it happens next is that your article will undergo a check by the technical platform. This check is about, for example, the compliance with the policy of the platform, so ethical policy, for example, and so on. If this check is passed, then the article will be published immediately as a preprint. And the authors will be requested to deposit all the additional material, like the data, the software that is needed to reproduce your work. So this is how there is a strong policy on depositing in data repository, for example, your data set, to allow both the reviewers and the readers to check your work. Then what happens is that the peer review process begins. The peer review process is completely open. We will go into the details in a moment, and it goes on for a couple of time until the article is either published or rejected. If the review is passed, then this article will be officially sent to indexers and repositories, for example, Zenodo back again, and in the future your institutional repository can be linked to the Aura platform, so you will have an update of the version automatically sent by the platform itself once the article has passed the peer review. As I said, there is a pre-publication check. Of course, there is a check on the author eligibility, because the platform for the moment is dedicated to beneficiaries of both H2020 and Horizon Europe programs. There is a check for plagiarism and for the scope of the article. Then, of course, all the guidelines, ethical, editorial, and so on. And of course, there is a support by the platform to make the article compliant with these policies and guidelines, and also to help the author to make related data and software fair. This is quite important because I believe support is always key. So authors are not left by their own, but there is indeed a team that will support them in, for example, finding the right repository and producing fair-based results. As I said, all the articles are made available in text and data mining formats. You can be provided with proof and editings if it's necessary. And of course the editorial part of and the changes needed in the final version will be also supplied by the platform. Of course, a persistent identifier will be assigned to all the versions. So this is also a service that the platform offers. Okay, so when it comes to open peer review, I'd like to start to tell you a little bit more about the role of authors in the peer review process, because I believe this is something quite different from traditional publishing. So first of all, authors are responsible for identifying suitable reviewers. So it is indeed the authors that choose the reviewers. There is a check by the platform because there are some basic criteria for reviewers, and there is a check on possible conflict of interest with some reviewers. So what is done is that you will be provided with a suggestion, some names that can be reviewers for your paper, or you can even suggest other reviewers, and those will be checked by the platform. There is an algorithm that suggests potential reviewers and finds conflict of interest, and at least 2 peer reviewers are needed for each article for the peer review process. How does it work? If you are familiar with the F1000 platform, this is very similar. So there is the preprint is published as version 1. It is stated indeed on the article page that the article is awaiting peer review, and once the reviewers are chosen by the author, their names will be published openly on the article page. There is a nice feature in this platform, because the reviewer can also suggest some core reviewer for carrying out the peer review process. This is quite interesting, for example, for PhD students, because I remember when I was a PhD student, many times my supervisor asked me to read and review a paper on her behalf, whereas here this process can be fully transparent, so reviewers can ask others to help them in this process. Of course, everyone will have their ORCID ID, so you can track the work of the authors and also of the reviewers, of course. Then it goes as unusual traditional review process. The only difference being that everything will be published on the platform. So the report that will be given by the reviewers are published. Either the article is approved or marked as approved with reservations or not approved. The comments of the reviewer will be published, so openly available, and also the response of the author, and there will be a track changes so that you will be able to see all the different versions of the article and the process that led to the final version. As I said, open data is a must, so there will be the availability of open data and also software. And one other thing that is quite important is that the scientific discussion will not end once the article is approved, because there will be also a commenting feature on the article. So also other people that are not that have not been assigned as a reviewer can comment the paper. The publishing platform will support the research across all disciplines. So there will be specific guidelines and policies for all the different domains. And so also data guidelines and policy will be in line with the EC policies. Article types, different article types will be supported, and also depending on the disciplinary areas. So there is a list over here. You can see there is a lot of different type of article that are supported by this platform. Not only that, we have been talking about the technical features of the platform, and as I said, from launch there will be a specific link with Zenodo, so the full text article and metadata will be sent to Zenodo after the article have passed a peer review. So there is a link a continuous link between the platform and Zenodo itself, but also with the Europe PMC. And over the next year, OpenAir will be working with F1000 to support advanced features, in particular the link with the EC-funded projects and the link with the institutional repositories, as I said. The platform published article will be indexed into databases. As soon as possible, of course, they are in the process now for being accepted on Scopus and DOAJ. There is, as I was mentioning in the beginning, a scientific advisory board with 25 members. They cover all areas of the Frascati manual, Europe and beyond, of course. The board was built to allow researchers across different career stages and diversity, and they will guide the platform in publishing policies and strategic direction and sustainability. The platform is now accepting submission. This means that for the moment there is no article published yet, but they will be starting from the formal launch, which is expected in March 2021, and there is a number of areas, scientific areas, where the platform is accepting submission on. Now my last slide, because I'm happy to take hear your question and to discuss with you, is that before you ask, no, the Open Research Europe publishing platform does not and will not ask to have an impact factor. This is because the European Commission believes that the value of what is published is in the article itself, in the way it is shared and reused. And it is not important where you publish your work, but indeed it is important what you publish. There will be actually some use of alternative metrics that follow, among the other, the Leiden Manifesto and the DORA Declaration. So each article will have an article level metrics page that aims at demonstrating the individual article's quality. Of course, it also includes traditional indicators like the number of citation and so on, but indeed the idea is to move over and to find another way to evaluate the results. So this concludes my presentation, and I'm really happy to take any questions that you may have.